kind of fitting then. Great minds speak alike, right?
Yeah, Adam Iscariot in the chat. Awesome. So I told everybody to give you a hand. You're British. You know, give him a hand. He's British. It's from Galaxy Quest. And if you said bomb upgrade in first chest, you were right.
Yeah, so that's nice in this version since it does. Oh, straight away. Was that 5 and 6 at Eastern and Hera?
That was definitely 6 at Hera.
Yeah.
So,
we might need to mark these ourselves.
I got it.
Okay.
So, Desert was a pendant, Eastern was a crystal. Not sure if it was 5 or 6 though.
Max plus 5 here is saying 5, 6 red. So.
Okay.
Interesting. Both crystals 5 and 6 in the light world could indicate, you know, Pyramid Fairy actually being useful. But we shall see. Yeah, as Rick has just pointed out there, 5 and 6 in the light world. Could we see a useful Pyramid Fairy this time?
Yeah, in this version of the logic, that's not nearly as common. However, in the latest version of the logic, version 22, I've seen Pyramid Fairy have the flute and the fire rod in a couple of races that I've run so far.
Oh, I've seen so many things go from there. I think we were in one where we needed Kate to get Canis Maria and Book was nowhere to be found either, and then she had both of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
rightly. That's right.
We had that, didn't we? So, yeah, definitely lots and lots of items there. I've seen everything from the second glove to the flippers to, as you say, whoa! I have seen bombos in there too, but that wasn't going to be my next guess. Okay then. It's too bad neither of them have enough magic for this, but I imagine even if they did, they wouldn't cast it. Kind of like Canis Samaria in Escape. It's unfortunate that, as cool as it is, it's a bit slower than your standard strategies here.
Yeah. Bombos does have a long animation, and so it's a Sunday. So just in case we got anybody new, this is a randomizer for The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. All of the item locations are randomized, and the main goal for our runners here in the Escape is to get a couple bombs so they can get the extra items that are in the Escape sewers, get 100 rupees so that they're prepared to buy an item from the bottle merchant. And what's the other one? I think that's pretty much it. Other than, of course, rescuing Zelda.
Yeah.
Hashtag, what's in Zelda's chest?
And to answer the question, yes, you can bombos this guy, the ball and chain guard, and it takes just 1 to kill him, but bombos takes a quarter of the magic, so neither player had enough to cast it, and it's about 9 seconds for the animation, so that would be longer than even doing the 2-pot strategy, I think. So, yeah, it's an unfortunate case of it's just not really worth the time to do so, but it's definitely something you could do, and if you're starting out with stuff this way, then go ahead and do that, because you can get 2 small magics off of the 2 pots next to the second chest of the game. So yeah, definitely look into stuff like this, because even if it's not necessarily the fastest way, it's execution free to use bombos. Right. So, a lot of things this way can definitely help out.
So what's generally looked at as a good time to get through Escape is 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So 6 minutes to Sanctuary is usually very good. And
nice.
Yeah, so Pikapals has 2 bombs. EvilAsh has a bomb. Probably all he really is going to farm for here in Escape because of the time issue. And more than likely will be able to pick up bombs when he goes through the Lost Woods and Kakariko Village.
That's the hope, anyway. There are some really odd circumstances where you just don't get any through there, but then you're looking to buy bombs anyhow. And yeah, I mean, it'd be really weird if there were no rupees and no bombs to start the stuff off here, because Pikapals could use the Blind's Hut to actually get enough money to buy extra bombs. But right. EvilAsh can't right now, but I don't see that being a problem. It's very, very rare that seeds are that poor of resources to begin with, and the extra bomb nullifies all of that anyway. So, good job, Snakes.
Snakes?
Sometimes they do good things.
Sometimes, not very often.
Not very often at all. Usually they just hit you like 3 or 4 times in a row and you just lose all your health.
So yeah, both of our runners are going to be right around the 6-minute mark. Coming out here. Actually, that might be a little bit over, so a little bit, this might be a little bit of a slower... No, never mind. Nah, they're gonna make under 6 minutes. Never mind. I can't estimate.
Oh, that bomb drop is probably not gonna be there still. We'll see.
Yeah, I would have gotten that.
I mean, it might still be there.
And it is.
Okay, good, excellent.
This is why Pika's in the tournament and you and I aren't.
Well, I think it was more a case of there just wasn't enough time to react to it, and it's just a, I hope it's still there on the way out. You know? Right, so I have this problem. See, Pikapals there didn't quite get the pull first time. I have this problem sometimes as well. You've actually got to delay yourself very slightly before you commit to it properly because, oh, cool. Banana hat straight away. Too bad Ben's not playing this seed because, you know.
Banana.
I like it, though.
It's more likely we're going to see both of our runners head over to Lost Woods. The issue is, will one of them bypass checking the item at the Lumberjacks?
You know, I've been considering doing that nowadays because with Agonel requiring the lamp as well in order to clear, I've only had one seed where Agonem's actually been needed for the item. And yeah, but at the same time, the information is so valuable that you just don't want to skip it anyway. Also, vanilla blue tree pull here, you know, blue rupees off of the blue tier, kind of interesting.
Heart container in the Lumberjack Cave. We will not see our runners go to Haga Tower, at least not for that.
Nope. Randomizer is not 100%, despite how you might consider it nowadays.
So you could have fooled me. You could have fooled me with the last couple seeds I played.
Just 20 rupees there. I mean, yeah, it's sort of worth going if you want to buy extra bombs, but at the same time, you can get 50 rupees within all of the Kakariko stuff. Right. And, well, then again, EvilAsh has only got the one bomb, because he didn't get the drop off of the rat. So he might not be able to quite get that much in town without having to farm extra.
Yeah, so Pikapal's definitely ahead with the bombs here. He's
getting all the drops.
Yeah, he's certainly not going to need to buy bombs. EvilAsh may. We'll see how Blind's Hut or the Well turns out. Most runners go to Blind's Hut first. So,
and you'd think with 5 chests available in Blind's Hut here that you would get at least 20 rupees off of one of them. So You'll probably be able to buy bombs as well as do the vendor stuff. I think if you didn't, though, you would probably prioritize... Oh, there you go. There you
go. Oh,
there you go. There's the money.
Bloomerang and more bombs. Well,
so that works out pretty well because now EvilAsh doesn't have to go down and buy bombs before getting into the well, just in case you don't get any from there.
And we have had the butter sword in that chest, I think, 2 races in a row. Am I wrong on that?
I don't think you are. And for anyone who was ever wondering nowadays why we have progressive logic, this is pretty much why. Granted, it can be quite fun sometimes to have the giant swing turns where you just find this sort of really late game item super early, but at the same time, you know, when this happens way more often than it probably should in this version, so it's just... But like, you can't really wait the gold sword to appear later because then it's not exactly random. As we find a book in here, bit of a soggy book to find, but you know.
That's why they put it in a treasure chest so it wouldn't get wet.
Yeah, I guess. This is probably before waterproofing is an age.
Shovel. We got fetch quests. So this will actually extend our runner's time here in Kakariko Village.
But the shovel game only costs 80 rupees. That's a ripoff. I suppose this is a permanent keep shovel rather than a Lent one, though, so that's not too bad. And hey, there's a lamp. Alright.
There will be no dark rooms.
Very useful as a fire source, for sure.
And it's just as you were speaking of earlier, Gamer Cal, that in the newest version of the logic, or let's say it this way, in this version of the logic, they get a free light cone in Light World dungeons.
What a place for the bottle to be. Vanilla location, but with an extra bit of red goo as well. But that's perfect because this is exactly where you want it to go and check Sick Kid.
And the Sick Kid has
more bombs.
Dark Magician, where you at?
So this is good for EvilAsh in a way because he didn't actually buy more bombs. So he hasn't had to. He's managed to get a lot from item drops here. Or from like chests and whatnot. So definitely good on him not buying them.
Alright. Library has just a bomb upgrade. Wow. All the bombs, man.
It's almost as if they're trying to tell us something here.
Yeah.
Sahashala, they have bomb walls in there. Green rupee in the race as well. Yep, you're totally going to spend the time to go and get that, right? Yeah, no.
Yeah, not so much.
Although it would be pretty funny if you end up being 1 rupee away from getting Zora.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen. We've seen runners have to farm for Zora, and runners have to farm for Kiki the monkey as well.
In this version of the logic, though, you could use that bloomerang that they picked up in order to deal with that, though, because you can stun the enemy, and like in vanilla, you would guarantee a single rupee drop off of every stunned enemy you kill. Nowadays, though, that is also randomized. It's 1 item, so, you know, if you stun any enemy and kill it, it will always be the same, but it isn't a green rupee anymore all the time. I had red rupees off it, which is quite good, though. You just stun an enemy and then get 20 rupees off it. It's pretty nice. Oh, interesting divergence.
Yeah. Pika's saying, I'm not going to drain the swamp or check inside the dam either.
So I could see the logic in this if he's looking to do desert at some point, because despite being a pendant, desert is disproportionately valuable in this version, right? So certainly even more so than nowadays. So yeah, I could see the logic if you're gonna do this, gonna do the dam into desert later on.
So $20, $50, big love, more bombs, and $50.
Not a whole lot there. Not really much in the dam either, just more money, right? So
wow, what a poverty seed so far. I mean, they got a lot of rupees, but as far as items...
This is the 1% seed then, huh?
Yeah.
So much money, not a whole lot else.
Yeah, so our runners are running out of options here. Now, Pika's going to fake flippers. More than likely, he's going to fake flippers to Hobo, but remember that Hobo is actually a sequence break. The logic will never require you to fake flippers to get to Hobo, so this could be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen and played in a great number of seeds from this version where this particular sequence break has been absolutely fantastic. You know, getting Titan's Mitt or something just to let you skip Aghanim when flippers are on the pyramid, you know, stuff like that. Lots of fun. This time, not so much.
We did see the other day, though, how finding an item earlier than your opponent can actually hurt you. In ACMLM did not find the Moon Pearl before his opponent. I can't remember who his opponent was.
Oh, Wolfie would have been that.
Yeah, Wolfie. Yeah. But Wolfie found the Moon Pearl, and so he did not go into Eastern Palace, which had the boots.
Yeah, Pegasus boot stuff. I saw the start of that race. Didn't get to see the rest of it, but I did see the big difference there. I think Wolfie was about 40 minutes or so behind in getting the boots in comparison. So that's a humongous difference in Randomizer.
So sometimes the sequence break item can actually turn out to harm you.
Yeah, you have to be careful with straying too far from where the logic requires you to go, because this is no glitches logic. Well, you're allowed to use minor glitches, but you have to be careful that any items you obtain specifically by using those glitches, that can prove troublesome, because you can just stray too far off the path that the game wants you to take. And yeah, things get awkward when you don't find boots for 40 minutes because of that.
Right. And so, as you predicted, GamerCal, our runners are both headed to Desert Palace. There is only 10 arrows on the ledge. There's got to be Agana or Desert Palace itself. It's got to have something here. Other than that, I think the only place... Well, no, our runners have still not gone to Sahasrahla or Zora. So,
well, Zora would be a sequence break right now because no gloves and no flippers.
Right.
But Eastern Palace itself could definitely be checked. And yeah, there is also Shahabadu, or however you want to say it yourself. Everybody has their own stuff for it. Sarsaparilla seems to be quite a popular one.
Yeah. So in Desert, we're going to find the big key, which means...
that's a good start, yep. This dungeon could be cleared now.
Yes, but it also means that it's possible... Let's see, what's in here? All right, 5 arrows. So that's one of the items. So the big key, or the big chest over here is going to have a small key, enabling Pikapals to go to the right side here. But there's only one more item here in Desert Palace, and they will not be able to complete it because neither one of them has a lift upgrade.
I was going to mention that when we got into that is, when I say cleared, I mean they've got everything else for it, but yeah, they can't actually read it yet, which is disappointing.
If that second item is on Landmalas, then Eastern Palace is looking really, really nice for our runners right about now.
This is a good distribution for going around this place though, because neither players checked That's really good. Okay, so then Pika knows second item's been found, no need here. Very, very nice. But this is good because you see where Pika's going now. He's going to be able to drop down from the ledge bit here and check again straight away. So not checking that bit first, just that distribution of items in the dungeon happened to be pretty much the best way around that you could get for this.
Given the equipment that they have right now, absolutely. So Agana is kind of a low percentage choice. In this version of the logic, you don't generally see Agana having much of consequence, but you never know. Unless
you're Christos, at which point the book is in here when you're not actually remembering you need to go to that. Oh, okay.
That's gotta be the wrong cane.
Gotta be lame.
That's right.
The lame cane. We always say that cane is useless though, but I have actually done some item dashes with it in places like the roller room in Turtle Rock, and it actually has turned out to be kind of useful. So there are very select circumstances where it might be playable, but most of the time it is pretty bad. So the other place that they could go here is Ago 1. If you really want to take that sort of gamble off of it, you could, because Gold Sword just wipes everything out, and you can get the item on the pyramid, get some information about what's in the Dark World.
So
not a whole lot else, though.
Wake, Piece of Fart, and the hook shot!
That's pretty good. Still doesn't lead to any progress, though.
Right, still no lift upgrade, so Pika saving and quitting... I might have considered going to Eastern if I were him at the moment, but nope, he's going to Aghanim.
It's a play on the version of the logic, though. Like, I would probably agree, because I used to do that quite a bit as well, even though if it's like, oh, it's a terrible play, don't ever do that. But it's items that you can get at the very start of the game, and this logic is weighted towards items unlocking other items a bit. So,
and they did just find the Moon Pearl as well.
Yes, so...
And now that they have the Moon Pearl and the hook shot, they'll be able to... you would take the long way, but they could get to Village of Outcasts.
Not quite yet. There's one other item that you need for that first, and that is either Flippers, Hammer, or the glove upgrade. Yeah. So one of those three could very easily be on the pyramid itself, and that's what Pico will be hoping for here. Because if one of those is there, then he can get to the other side, and that's when Village of Outcasts actually opens up. Meanwhile, EvilAsh Ice Rod Cave, maybe?
I gotta believe either that or Zora. It looks like he's going Zora.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you wouldn't really want to do Fate Flippers there because the exploding Octorok guy can actually hit you in the water, and that would be really bad right now. Too bad we are not going to see the Jesus Walk, though. Because he has the Moon Pearl, if he enters the Waterfall of Wishing and then comes back out, he'll be walking on water. And when you're walking in the deep water, it actually, I believe it's a proper, like, full swim speed is what you would actually have off it. So, yeah, you could actually get through here a little bit quick. Shout outs to Kenny for showing me that one.
So the ledge over here in Zora's Domain only has red rupee, which is good because that means our runners are not going to have to come back later with the flippers. But we will see if EvilAsh's gambit has paid off here once we find out what King Zora's going to vomit up at him here.
Of course, one of the worst things that could be here would probably be the flippers itself, because that would mean he'd have to definitely really want to go at you. Oh, no!
Life lesson.
Okay. So, Pika may very well be on the best track here. It honestly depends. I mean, Easton, as low of a chance as it is, it could still be the right play here. But I do not blame Ash at all, rather, because of the version of the logic we're playing here. If we were playing in more, well, maybe not in the most recent version, but if we were playing in, say, version 19 logic, then I think Easton would be a more accurate play for these two to go for, because you'd still have the light cone, you'd still get at least 2 items in there. Of course, they've got the lamp, so even in the modern thing, then that would still be probably the play that you would make before doing Aga, but at the same time, when it's this version where the pyramid is so heavily weighted, you've got to think there's something that's up there, you know?
Sure. Well, we will find out shortly here as we are playing again in V18 logic, which means no blue balls from Aghanim. Yeah, Pika's down to 1 heart here. Maybe he needs to not be so close to Aghanim.
So what he was trying to do there, the one thing that you can do to try and speed this fight up a bit is to try and get Aghanim not as close to the center as possible, except for every 4th hit, then you want to get to the top center. And the reason for that is just because it lessens the amount of time he can teleport, because if he's in the middle of the room, even if he goes to a corner, then he's only got half the room to go across. But if he's in a corner when you hit him, and he goes to the opposite corner, that's a heck of a lot more time wasted. So it's trying to mitigate his RNG a little bit by putting him into the corner. Unfortunately, when you get a bit too close, it doesn't quite work out.
Alright, so Pikapals getting a refill because he has the Moon Pearl. If you don't have the Moon Pearl, you don't get a refill. Hammer item is the Titan Mitts!
That's good. So now they can do what you mentioned, which is go up the top here. Although that doesn't look like it's where Pika's going to go. And that's reasonable, because if you're not going to do Catfish right now, and without Mire to double up and do Zora, probably not one to do that. So it's going to be faster here.
Right, it's a shorter walk to the Kakariko Village teleporter than it is to go all the way around in the Dark World.
Especially because it was Titansmith. Like, I know they'd need Hammer to do it otherwise, but because it's Titansmith in particular... Oh, so Pika's actually going to do the mountain effect? This also makes sense.
Yeah, sure. They've got the hook shot, so he can do east side of Death Mountain as well.
I was hoping that wouldn't
8
happen.
items.
Getting poked a little bit by the guard there. Also, seeing a little crab coming out there, another fun fact, in the most recent version, the crab actually has a random drop as well now. So you can get anything from that single rupee to red rupees or 10 arrows and such from it. So
yeah, it's
definitely worth it.
Yeah, the first time that happened to me, I picked one up, the crab was there, and he dropped a full magic decanter. I said, when did this happen?
The first one I picked up dropped red rupees, so I got 140 rupees coming up the mountain there. That's half my Zora money right there. Speaking of money, but not nearly as much.
Yeah. Here you go, Sonny. Back in my day, I could buy a brand new sword with this shiny green rupee.
You know, we probably could too, that's the best part.
So lots of items they can check here. Also, now if they need the hammer or the mirror to get into Tower of Hera.
Correct.
But with what are those on Spectacle Rock? Now they can't get those without the mirror, though. There's the mushroom.
I was actually secretly hoping the mirror would have been there because that would have been hilarious.
Fetch quest.
Wow. Yeah. Would you like to do some fetch quests?
Now it'd be really trolly if the mirror is for the mushroom. Then come back up here and then get your boots.
And then the ether tablet is the flute.
Yeah.
Just because, so that you could not have done this quicker.
Just to be super trolly.
So there's, the interesting thing of save quitting there, because it is a little bit quicker, especially without those boots. It's a bit quicker than walking all the way around again.
Yep.
Alright, so which way is EvilAsh going to go here?
Looks like he's going to Death Mountain as well.
It makes sense, especially when you've got the hookshot, and especially in this version. Like, you think Death Mountain is favorable now, it's way more favorable in this version, because again, it's items that you need to unlock it. In this case, it's the gloves and then the hookshot to get all the way around here. Very, very favorable spot on the way the biases work out.
And remember that they have the Moon Pearl as well, so they can do Dark World Death Mountain and Hookshot Cave. So many items that they can find.
There it is! Okay, so this is really good now because you can do that Dark World stuff, but you can also get to the top of the mountain and get all the stuff that way too. Really, really solid setup here.
Yeah, so they can absolutely clear out everything on Death Mountain right now, with the only exception of Spike Cave.
Yes. And that's only because no hammer yet.
And there's the power gloves. Regressive gloves.
So that all but guarantees pretty much that we had to do things this way around. The only way that this isn't the order that we had to go through is if either Ice Rod Cave or Eastern Palace has the flute.
Right.
That's the only option for not having to do Aga for the mitts at this point.
Now that would be interesting if Ice Rod Cave was the flute and Misery Mire turns out to be required. That may troll our runners significantly.
So I definitely like the way Pika's doing this, because you would be tempted after getting the mirror just to go straight back and get the boots. You're thinking, I have to get this now. It's great, but no, because if you do this, you can do all the Hookshot Cave stuff. You can check what you need to do in the Dark World, and then you can go across. You've got Gold Sword, so the Lionel shouldn't be that much of a problem, and you can then go ahead and
wait, that's gotta be Kane!
What a place for it, too, right outside where you would need it.
Yeah.
So, you can then mirror to where the spectacle thing is. You don't have to go back up the mountain, take the teleporter from there.
Oh, and here we got a map check. We've got a pendant at Mire.
Yeah, that's the one that I saw. I did see Todorock as a crystal. It does require ether, the one medallion they don't have. And
of course it's the one medallion they don't have.
This is smart from Pika as well. He's going to check the floating island here just to be absolutely sure. There is a mirror for EvilAsh. But once you cross the bridge bit here, since you don't need the hammer in the Dark World to get across here, you can use the mirror on the Spectacle Rock Point without any issue whatsoever. So you don't have to go back up the mountain to get the... Oh, nice game. You don't have to go back up the mountain to go ahead and get the Pegasus boots here. You just have to make it across the top of here, which again, they've got resources for that, so not much of a problem. So yeah, Pika's doing pretty much the exact thing I hoped he would do, the sort of thing I'd be thinking in my head of this is how I'm going to do it. Not checking Spiral Cave at the moment is good because you know that the boots are available, so you want to come back and do that afterwards. If you can afford to, of course.
Pika's gonna go ahead and grab his boots. So, what item is gonna troll our runners the hardest here? At this point, it's probably one of the rods, either fire or
let's
ice.
be honest, it's gonna be the ice rod.
Yeah.
We all know it's already gonna be the ice rod.
Yeah.
100 rupees raining from the heavens.
Yeah. So Pika gonna go ahead and do Hera here, and he will have totally cleared Death Mountain all in one go.
I suppose there is one slight issue with the way of going around with this, is that if Hammer is not here, he can't get back to his teleporter to get through the Dark World again. So he'll have to go round if he wants to get to Spiral Cave. That's the one disadvantage of doing things this way around.
That's true.
Alright, Ice Palace is the green pendant. That's the other one.
So, interesting. So, 2 dungeons that nobody ever wants to clear are our pendant dungeons.
Yeah, I have a bit of a fault against doing Ice Palace now, because I've done all the bomb jumps and whatnot, so I'm relatively comfortable in my route around it no matter what happens. The only one I need to practice a little bit more is one in the hookshot room, because I have had a couple of times where I'm looking for that item and not had the small key in the first like 2 or 3 items in the dungeon, and that can mess you up quite a bit. But yeah, I kind of actually enjoy clearing it now, so I probably do it more often than I should. So,
yeah, and it is such a time sink if you're not in go mode.
Yeah. As much as I like doing it, even I will definitely say, yeah, it's a big annoyance to do the entire dungeon when you could spend half the time in there. Same as with like Swamp Palace, you know.
Right. So, Pika finding out that the basement of Hera is actually required. That's where the big key is today. So luckily, they found the lamp early.
And looks like EvilAsh is actually going to do Spiral Cave beforehand, so that's not a bad choice at all, because of the issue I mentioned before with if the hammer isn't here, then you can't get back around there quite as easily. So yeah, it's not a bad choice at all.
But having to do
okay. That's interesting. Oh, and it's the flute that's in there as well. Oh, wow.
Could
so that's actually
be crucial.
Enough. That is enough for EvilAsh to go, right, I'm not going around the other side here. I'm going to go back up the mountain bit, you know. Screw going back up on the right-hand side for this. I'm going to walk the other end.
So this will be crucial if Pika doesn't go to check Spiral Cave. Now, not because the flute is required, because the flute is not required, at least as we know right now, because Misery Mire is not required.
Yeah, but you know Misery Mire is going to have the ice one, right?
Of course. But just for the fact of being the mobility that the flute grants you.
Yeah, just because it's not necessarily required for the seed to be cleared doesn't mean that you don't want it. It is that good of an item.
Just like the boots, right?
Yep.
A lot of the times boots are not required, but there's not a single runner who would pass them up, ever.
Nope. So EvilAsh is about to get his hundo raining down from the heavens. And Pika did not go back for the Spiral Cave. This is the 3rd race that I've seen that this has caused a problem. But we'll see. Maybe it won't. There are 5 items in total that he'd be missing out on if you count Misery Mire's dungeon items.
Right.
So, reasonably low odds that it won't completely, ruin things. But even just thinking of that, when you've got Mirror and Flute, and, Titansmith and whatnot, it's so quick to get to any of the teleporters that you want.
Exactly.
EvilAsh is a little bit frustrated about having to get a big key out of the basement. Don't blame him.
No one likes doing tile rooms, ever.
I actually don't think I have Spiral Cave on my list of most forgotten places in my guide right now, but I might have to add it, seeing I've seen it so many times in the tournament.
You may have to. Pika's checking Village of Outcasts here. He went ahead and opened Steve's Town. A lot of runners will go into Thieves Town even without the hammer.
Yep.
Because, you got a pretty decent chance that the big chest will not be required, but we have seen that be incredibly significant as well. But time will tell here as Pika... There's a bush right there south of Bombable Hut that sometimes contains a bomb. I did not see what item was there in bomb hut.
I didn't see either, unfortunately.
Bit
Yeah,
of
it's
an
about-
internet hiccup.
It's about a 50% chance, I think, to get a bomb off of that particular bush you're referring to.
Yeah, I think it's about that. Yeah, about 50-50. So Pika heading on to Alec Baldwin saying, "Let me dig up your backyard. Here's $80." It's an interesting business proposition.
Yeah.
So
I think
what-
it's just a case of the guy is too lazy to do it himself, so he's like, whatever you find down here, you just keep it. I don't know. Just pay me a little bit to actually get it started up.
Pika saying, "I do not care about the red boomerang. I've got the blue one."
Yeah, you know, that's another one that we joke about, the red one being entirely useless and whatnot, but it actually can be used. I think it was EvilAsh that I saw actually use the red boomerang in the same places you'd use the blue one in GT and actually make it work.
Well, the red one does travel significantly faster, but that
Ouch.
darn... Yeah, that's not cool. But that darn sparkly effect on the boomerang causes the game to lag up a bit.
Yeah, it's the same as the silver arrows.
Hammer from the Smiths.
Now you too shall be a swordsmith, or a breadsmith in this case, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Very significant. Now, if this turns out to be the bow here at Batman, although Batman is a low percentage chance, particularly at this version of the Rando, but Batman gives them...
Well, it's sort of related to what he used to give. Also, shoutouts to the 667 rupees that Pika's got right now. You know, not quite in the league, so you know,
just
that's
almost evil.
Yes. And now, speaking of evil, EvilAsh is going to get his flute activated now for sure. Probably just going to hop into the Dark World in the area too. And it's always neat seeing the hammer in this area, though. I don't know, like, I've had it in a few other races recently where I've gone Thieves Town without it, and then it's been in the first four at Thieves Town.
Right.
It's always kind of cool, but it's just neat seeing it in the area when you're thinking, oh, I sure could use this right now for faster travel. And that's going to be another thing here. Like, Pika is going to be taking this chest around. EvilAsh has the option to use the flute instead for this.
Yeah. And you got to think that EvilAsh is headed Village of Outcasts way here.
Yeah, just checking King's Tomb first because you may as well check these items here. You can do it when you're checking... Yeah, you can do them when you're checking North Dark World, but it's not really any slower when you're in this area. And there's the flippers, okay. Because Pika has not checked these yet.
The only thing Flippers is going to be good for right now is Swamp Palace. I mean, obviously that's required, so I don't mean to diminish it, but doesn't really have the import, say, of the Fire Rod or particularly the Hammer.
No. But at the same time, if Pika had those flippers, he would actually be able to do Swamp Palace straight after doing the other stuff down here.
True.
So...
Fire Rod!
Fire Rod! From Stumpy, nonetheless. Does he want you to set the Haunted Grove on fire so that you can find his flute in the ground somehow? I don't even know how that would work. Like, burn the grass above it or something? Maybe you put an X in the ground that the grass just grew over it. Who knows?
So I think you're right, GamerCal. I think it will probably end up being... It's either going to be the Ice Rod or the bow that trolls. Now, in the week... Was it yesterday in the weekly? It was the bow trolling everybody.
Wasn't it? Because the bow was the big chest in Skull Woods, right? And then
but Skull Woods was a pendant, and Mothula dropped the big key.
Yeah,
So...
I remember that. I got a bit confused as to which race it was actually because I've done so many of them this week. But you know, but no, that was great. I came 9th in that race actually. I was really pleased with that.
You did very well. I did awful. So, all right. Okay. I think my commentary stream is back up. All right.
Oh, you had that.
Had a bit of a hiccup.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but we're good now.
So Pika is going to go up and do Height Cave here. Height Cave could still have Ether and Ice Rod. Those are the two things we're mostly looking for. The bow is obviously needed as well, but at the moment I think Ether, or especially Ice Rod, would probably be the one I'd want to see right now, because the bow is easier to find most of the time, let's be honest.
Hype Cave has $20. We've got Big Love, Little Love, and the Bug Catching Net. Not so hype.
I mean, if you wanted that full heart from Aga, what they've said they've already done that, so you know it doesn't really work. But the net's hype enough, right? That's
true. Yeah, we can swag him, agging him too now. So Pika's heading up. You gotta think he's going catfish?
Yeah, it looks like it. I didn't mention it at the time when he was taking that purple chest, by the way, but there was one hookshot dash that he did there, which is really cool. Like, I didn't actually know that you could hook to one of the skulls there that he did, just before the screen where he mirrored. It was actually really neat. I didn't actually know that. Has he turned into Mushroom yet?
I don't believe he has.
I was going to say, he's
like
just about to do that.
Yeah, it was like you were reading his mind.
Okay, so here's something pretty cool that EvilAsh actually did in the last one. I think Pika's going to emulate it here, right? So he sets up the mirror portal here so that he bonks off of this bush, and that counts as the screen transition, so now he can go in and check the witch's thing.
Interesting.
I didn't actually know that was a thing until I watched a round 1 game between these two, and then it's like, yeah, that's actually really cool. Also, perfect time for EvilAsh to pick up the hammer here as well. Excellent routing.
So that really is the difference between our two runners right now, is that EvilAsh found the flute, and the flute was in Spiral Cave.
Yep.
So Pikapals seems to be ahead right now in the item game, but the longer he goes without picking up that flute, more opportunity having the flute is going to have for EvilAsh to catch up.
Hey, look, it's a cash fish.
The cash fish. Nice.
Ah, dear. Sometimes you've just got to take the advantage of these.
Yeah, no. It was a nice pun. I gotta say, that was a nice pun. The chat is rating your pun. Yeah. You got a 7 out of 10. You got a 6 out of 10. 4 out of 10. 5 out of 7. The scores are coming in.
So all I need is the approval for Greenleaf effect here. That's all that we need after this.
Yep. You got the approval from Greenleaf. Where's Cross Product? Cross Product needs to rate this one.
On. You can't make puns like that and not have cross. Yeah, basically, the catfish gave the money, and then Zora just took it and, spat nothing out in your face.
That's true. And so Ash is taking the lunchbox around. Pika, gotta believe he's gonna head into Steve's Town here. Or perhaps Skullwoods, either one.
Yeah, without the flute, which way around would you do this? Knowing that you've got to do both of them anyway.
I'd probably do Skullwoods.
Yeah,
first.
That's what I'd be thinking.
Go north to Skullwoods. Actually, now that I think about it, though, you can do Steve's, then run directly to Skullwoods. The fastest way to get back from Skullwoods is to mirror out and then walk through the Lost Woods, then take the teleporter again because he doesn't have the flute. So I think Pikapals is probably doing this right as far as speed is concerned.
The alternative, like the way I'm thinking of maybe that I'd do it, is if I did Skullwoods but went straight to Moth first and then come back through and check the stuff on the way out rather than on the way in. That might, because you could obviously check the pedestal as well, but it's just a case of, well, Skullwoods only has the 2 items to it, so maybe that's a viable way. I don't know.
Yeah, lots of things to be thinking about, and that's why it's a lot harder to play Randomizer than you first think, because you tend to overthink yourself so many times. But
Yeah.
one thing I'm holding out hope for is if this is possibly my last opportunity to commentate in this tournament, where's the pedestal hype? Where is the pedestal required seed? Because right now we could have 2 items on that pedestal.
Yes, we could.
We could have ether, we could have ice rod on that pedestal. I am holding out hope.
Oh no, we could have the bow as well, right? Because Ice Palace, not Swamp, Ice Palace, Misery Mire, and Desert. Those are the...
Okay, 3 items. All right, pedestal height. Hold out your hope for pedestal height. The only thing I just wanted to commentate 1 pedestal required seed. Come on. I came close. I was running tracker for 1.
I will say the bow is one of the only items I have never seen on the pedestal, so that would be really interesting.
That's true. I've never seen it on the pedestal either.
Like, as far as ones I've personally experienced, or, you know, at least commentated for, like, because I've commentated for Christos' flute one. Christos might have had there. I commentated that, but I haven't had it there myself. I think I've seen the flippers there. I have yet to see the boots there myself. I have had a glove upgrade be there before. I've even had powder up there, but I think that one's more famous because of Andy's pull in the group stages. I like the use of the powder there, actually, by Pika as well. He's running a little bit low because of all the hits he took on Hellway, so definitely good to get that out of the way.
So Ash checking the Mire items here. Nothing of substance so far. We will find out. Don't know if flute is required yet, because I very, very seriously... Oh, silver's in
that's cool.
Steve's town. But I very seriously doubt EvilAsh is going to drop into Mire just on a gamble at this point.
Yeah.
So,
did we get to see what the medallion was for Mire though? No, okay.
I didn't. Chat may have seen it, but I did not. And he's fluting out just like we thought.
Yeah, because I was thinking that if Mire also needs ether, then that is one thing that can't be on the pedestal for obvious reasons. So that's the main reason I was thinking that there, just to potentially eliminate an option. But EvilAsh going up for Skull Woods here, so maybe he is going to do what I was considering, or maybe not, because he does have the flute, so that makes things a lot easier here.
Yeah, without a doubt. We'll see what I think Blind is going to drop an item. I could swear I saw both the compass and the burrito here in Steve's town.
Yeah.
So see what Blind drops. We'll see what Skullwoods has in store. And half magic. Nice.
That's good. Yeah. What a good place for it too.
And very convenient that Pika's going to get the half magic before having to go to Mothula.
Yep. I mean, even when you've got... Oh, EvilAsh is not having a good time with those bumpers today.
No.
Yeah, even when you've got Butter, it's still really good to get this out of the way with access to the half magic. So interesting, though, from Pika that he's not doing the North Dark World stuff here as well, though. Because one thing he could have done is do Bumper Cave and the Graveyard Ledge, and then come back across to do this place.
Sure.
And I think that would have been slightly more optimal for him, because now those 2 locations are kind of loose squares for him. So, I don't know when he's going to get around to that. If he even needs to, we don't know.
I think our runners are going to do a pedestal check at the end of this.
Absolutely.
You gotta think they will.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen an item in Skull Woods yet. Neither one of our runners has found the big key, so...
Oh, that's really annoying, especially for EvilAsh here. That's going to be really upsetting, because you're going to have to come back down and through the dungeon anyway, just to get the other item. This is pretty much what happened in the weekly yesterday, and I was like, oh, you had to make this the slowest fast check of a dungeon possible, didn't you? by having to do all the things here. And then obviously it turned out to be the right play, and it's that, You get that whole "I'm a genius" feeling off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I outsmarted the random number generator.
Right? So I like the play there from EvilAsh picking up the pot, because if you are just like racing through that and you go a little bit too quickly, you might end up having the War Master take you from the pit and drag you back up to the start. And when you've only got single magic, you can't afford to have that happen.
And there's the compass, so...
Oh, so there must...
Yeah, they did get the big key.
Then, right? Yeah.
But they're still going to have to backtrack.
Yeah, the speaker's doing exactly what I usually do in here as well. Nuts to all of the Gibdos, just fire on the whole lot of them. Even if I only have single magic, I tend to do that, because then I'll conserve magic a little bit by using the fire rod to light the 2 middle torches in one go.
So Ash having to check the one of the most annoying item checks in Skullwoods.
I had no idea those were pots there, by the way, until I started doing this.
Neither did I. Not at all. All right, so there's the piece of fart. He's not going to be happy about that.
So if anybody's ever wondering why you go Morphula and then check that item, it's because you don't want to menu away from the fire rod whilst you're doing the second half. And then from the mirror, you can, of course...
Pedestal height. And now you can defend against pebbles. It's just a shield upgrade.
And it's only the level 1 shield at that.
Yeah. All right, well, the dream is dead. Dream is dead. That's alright. Can still be a hype as heck ending to this, even without a pedestal check.
Absolutely. I mean, we've still got 2 relatively big players in this. We still have the Pyramid Fairy that could have Ice Rod or Ether, or both. And we still have Sasha, who too, because Ice Palace is beatable right now.
Oh,
yeah, this is a problem with the way this is set up. So you want to dash off of the other side if you're going to. I think that's one thing I'll need to fix in the video stuff I'm recording at the moment, because I do a dash off of the door there because I don't have a key. But if you've opened that door, you can't exactly get the dash off on that side. So you want to dash off of the side area.
So now it looks like Ash is going to check north side, Dark World. See what's on the bumper cave, hit the cave above the graveyard. Just a piece of fart on bumper cave. He's not going through that.
Yeah, it's not a bad option at all. Yeah, this is what I thought Pika might do before he went to Skullwoods, because then he could just save quit and it would be an easy point from there.
So the longer this goes, Gamer Kyle, the more I'm hoping that you're right, and the Ice Rod is in fact in Misery Mire, because that would just be, it's funny. The absolute last things you want when you're running the game is exactly what people want when they're watching a run of the game.
Oh yeah, it's the what's it? Is it Schadenfreude? Is the effect of it? I'm terrible with pronunciation stuff.
It's not quite accurate, but Schadenfreude is more of a kind of a just desserts type thing. None of these runners really have deserve to be.
No, we're not that vindictive.
Yeah. All right, so EvilAsh is gonna go get his big payment from the catfish. But see, you're gonna see too that once he gets catfish, he's gonna mirror, and he already went to Zora, so he's gonna mirror and then flute away to his next destination. Pika's not gonna be able to do that.
Do you think Swamp is gonna be the next place he goes?
It would certainly make sense. He can't clear Eastern or Pod. But notice Ash has not cleared Thieves Town?
No, not yet, actually. So
that's probably where he's going.
Okay. That makes more sense, because Thieves Town is one you've got to clear the whole place for pretty much anyway. So may as well do it first.
Now, I would imagine that Pika's next stop is Swamp Palace.
Yeah, he's got to save quit though for that. So and got to make sure he goes to the light world first before he save quits.
And
otherwise, he'll end up on the
full
pyramid.
heart container. Why would you ignore a full heart container? I know it's precious seconds. I got it. But it just seems like it's 2 seconds and you get a whole nother heart.
Yeah, I suppose. At the same time, 11 hearts blue mail is more than enough for these guys. I mean, I'd be comfortable at this resource level, and I'm not as good as these guys. So, I think what's the minimum I've done? I think 7 hearts red mail is the minimum I've done if you want to count just pure numbers off it. But I've done 10, 11 hearts green mail before as well. It's kind of scary, but it's definitely doable, especially when you've got stuff like powder, you've got bottles to run with, you've got magic cape, half magic as well. So yeah, it's definitely very possible for these guys without any extra resources. So
Gamer Cal, would you, if you're having to route like Pikapals is right now, would you have gone ahead and gone up to Double Chested Fairy? Because it's the same warp, right? That you need to go to Swamp Palace.
Yeah, if I had the crystals for it. Still need to do Easton for that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay, that's right.
If I had the crystals, then I would. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm fired.
These things happen. No, if I had the crystals for I probably would do Swamp first and then go back up and do it because it's in the same general area.
Sure.
But and then in Pika's position, since you can't, flute back down to it, it would make more sense to do Swamp and then go up and do it because you don't want to save quit from, pyramid stuff just to go back to your house and then come back down. It's a bit more wasted time, I think.
And big key in the first chest of Swamp Palace. That's going to speed up clearing this place. Yeah. As we reach and get close to the hour mark here, I'd like to remind everyone, follow these runners here on Twitch. They are doing some amazing things with Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, Randomizer, and they are amazing players of not just this game, but lots of other games. So check out their channels. For more speed running action, obviously, follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 here on Twitch. And we have Game 3 in this match will be later on tonight. I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern, if Game 3 is necessary. So...
Yeah, I like how so many of the players are preemptively scheduling the Game 3 just in case it does happen, because you always want to have everything laid out. We might not need it, but if we do get it, have to use it, then we have a slot for it now.
Sure.
So everybody knows what's going on, and especially for commentator stuff here, we can actually try and plan around that a bit ourselves. Saying, who's going to commentate this, etc.
So let me go ahead and correct myself. It is 8 o'clock Eastern time, not 6 o'clock Eastern time tonight. Or for you, Gamer Cal, that's what, 4 in the morning?
No, 8 is 1 a.m. So
1 a.m. Okay.
I like the way Pika's going about this. So because you got the big key straight away, the main play here is to do the so-called rando strat. Since you have the hook shot before coming in here, you trip that, you use the key that you get on the right-hand side of the foyer to open up the door at the top, trigger the crystal switch, come down and get the key, then go back up, flood the room, trigger the crystal switch again, and go back down. Saves you having to trigger it twice, basically. You end up getting a good screen transition saved here. Sounds more complicated than it is, but instead of going down first, getting the key, coming back up, you go up first and go through the doorway with the switch down. Something which I'm sure everybody did on their first time through this dungeon and got sorely disappointed when they had to go back round and hit the switch again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, question from Hiei. Overworld thing's pretty much done except for Spike Cave. Yeah, I can't think.
Yes.
Nobody went to Ice Rod Cave, though.
Yeah. But EvilAsh has a faster time getting there because he's got the flute.
Right.
Yep, and I believe we are going to see the same swamp play here as well. So
it's one of those things that it's kind of kind of the obvious play here. You cannot complete either of the remaining crystal dungeons, and Swamp Palace has 6 unique items, but so far it is not helping Pika out at all.
No, not at all.
But there's still what? Yeah, there's still 4 more possible item locations in here. So I haven't been counting all the items. I think I saw him get the compass already. I don't know if he's found the compass and the map. But...
Well, I'm pretty sure I just saw the map as one of the 2 chests on the other side there. So if he's already got the compass, then yeah, there's nothing but items left in this dungeon. Yeah, bow in Mimic Cave could happen. I think we have seen that once in the tournament already. That's one I remember hearing about. It's the only problem with such a massive tournament here, and it's only going to get bigger in the future as well. Yeah. With such a massive tournament here, it's impossible to get to watch every single game, as much as you would love to. So that I really appreciated the highlights reel, but the groups were being, when the brackets were being, announced and whatnot, just so you could see some of the truly awesome things that have happened during this tourney here. Nothing but money in here so far. Wow. Yeah.
And speaking of how many people are around, we just set a record for Link to the Past Randomizer in yesterday's weekly. 115 entrants. Amazing.
That has to be one of the larger tournaments. One of the larger races that SRL has had. Most. I know there's been some really, really big ones for massive events before, but in terms of just one game that's done once a week, that has to be one of the largest things that's been done. And it only started about 15 minutes after it was scheduled to, too. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Only 15 minutes late. Don't give. I can go on a soapbox about punctuality. Don't the military man coming out and me. Don't do it. All right, so Pika's about to take care of Argus here and then get off that topic. But two spin slashes, 2 hits with the butter sword. Argus goes down, and Swamp Palace turns out to have Bupkis.
Nothing but money in this dungeon. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bow can definitely not be at Pyramid Ferry because the Crystal 6 Crystal 6 was Tower of Terror. Crystal 5 is Eastern Palace. So you need the bow to get there.
So where do you go now, Pika? Where do you go now? Do you dive into Pod?
Not by the looks of it.
Oh, Pika's saying, oh yeah, I didn't do Spiral Cave.
Yeah.
He may be thinking he didn't do Spiral Cave, so he needs to do that. And he may hit up Spike Cave as well while he's up here.
That would be the best way around for this, because these are the only 2, if you like, squares here that he has to fill up. Yep. The only thing is, that's a really slow thing to end up having to do now, isn't it? Because your Spiral Cave is going to take you back down to the bottom of the mountain, then you've got to go up to the other side again to get back up. It's an awkward situation.
Which is odd to me that he already hit the Dark World.
Yeah.
Order if you're gonna do Spiral Cave first. Yeah, I'm kind of, unless, has he not checked Turtle Rock yet?
I would be surprised. But the only other thing I can think of is maybe he's gonna leave the teleporter at the top so that when he gets back up through Death Mountain stuff there, he can go into the teleporter and then be in the Dark World to get to Spiral Cave, to Spike Cave. Looks like he hasn't checked Turtle Rock. But maybe he's still gonna do that anyway. That would be the reasonable way round from here. Because that way you're already in the world that you want to be in order to do Spike Cave.
So he will be happy to get the flute, but will probably be upset that he didn't do this earlier when he was riding around the mountain.
Yeah. So, let's think of it from Ash's perspective here then. What is the next play for you then?
Pod disproportionately has progression items, so I would consider taking a risk on Pod, but it's a short flute away to that ice rod cave that nobody's checked yet.
I realize this is probably a loaded question for you in particular, but would there be any chance that you would check Ice Palace with it being Green Pendant before going towards Pod so that you can check Sasha?
That's a tough one. I mean, I'm not the best person to ask about routing.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
Because I lost like all of my SRL points yesterday in the weekly, but so clearly I'm the wrong person to ask. No, and I don't mind Ice Palace. I'm kind of with you. I know a lot of people hate it, but it doesn't really bother me all that much. Well, let's see. Pika is... Oh, he hasn't checked the Mire items yet.
Because he couldn't, yeah.
Yeah. So this means that this race is going to be essentially a dead heat here because EvilAsh is finishing up Argus, and I believe he went left already. Maybe he didn't. But let's see.
No, he's full cleared everything in here as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have been this long into the dungeon without doing so.
So we have got a dead heat here. It's going to come down to who finds Ether and the Ice Rod. And there's a lot of dungeons to check right now. Oh, and the bow. Sorry, we still got the bow.
Was that a check of the medallion requirement for Maya there as well?
Oh, God, I was too busy talking.
Because I didn't actually see. Wavy coin Mire, okay.
For Mire, okay.
Alright,
incoming 100% run, that's right.
Yeah, that's how it's looking right now.
Alright, so Pika's checking the Ice Rod Cave. Will this... And EvilAsh is making the play on Pod.
Ooh. That's rough.
Well, it could be, but it could also be brilliant, so...
Bow in the first chest, let's go.
Let's see... Ice Rod Cave is just $20. That does not work out.
Oh, man. So, EvilAsh hasn't done Spiral Cave yet? No, Spiral Cave. Spike Cave. They both begin with S. They're both begin with S&P, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. I don't know where he's going. Where is Pikapals going?
Pika didn't pick up Spike Cave. Once he got the flute, he ran straight back out, didn't he?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Pika's checking Spike Cave. We'll see if that ends up mattering. He may be saving Spike Cave for, if he has to go up to Turtle Rock to search for items.
Bumper Cave, I believe, was just a piece of heart.
Yeah, Bumper Cave was just a piece of heart.
So is he going to get locked out here? No.
Nope.
In some ways, that might be worse.
True.
If it's not here.
If there's nothing in here, yep. It's way worse if there's nothing in here.
But at this point, there's 5 items in this dungeon in general. You're looking for 3 and you've cleared almost everything else. You've got to think that one of them is going to be in here. You just hope it's the right one,
Alright, so Spike Cave has the bow!
Oh, man! Oh, man! That's rough, because now there's a very clear path for Pika to take, and you also see the save quit here is really good, because that puts him on the pyramid right outside Palace of Darkness. Oh boy, that's rough for EvilAsh here. You've got to think that he's going to check Eastern after this too, which is the worst bit. The one race I forfeited on SRL is a result of this as well, of checking these 2 as the last sort of location I could really look to check, and the bow wasn't in either of them, and I was just like, no, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I could have been in go mode an hour ago. I'm done.
Yeah, and the bow is the best item for him to find because it opens up so much more, right? If they'd found Ether or the Ice Rod, it wouldn't have been nearly as powerful as finding the bow.
the ice rod would have been completely useless because you can't even get into Turtle Rock.
Right.
That's not quite the bow-related item you want to see right now. The validation arrow right outside of that is not the bow-related item you want to see. And like I said, not being locked out of this dungeon straight away was a bad thing.
That's true.
Ended up having to clear so much more of it right now. And I think I saw the key.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another unfortunate thing. He's keylocked himself out of the Dark Maze too, so he has to find a bow somewhere else now.
Right,
the good thing is he knows it can't be there.
All right, he's gonna flute. Is he gonna go into Eastern? Yeah, he is. Oh,
that's the thing.
We know this is the wrong play, but because I mean, think about it. You've got a possibility of finding. I think you could possibly find up to 3 items in pod without the bow.
Yes.
You've got the possibility of finding 3 items here in Eastern Palace, so that's 6 possible items by going here to pod and Eastern. But Spike Cave is just one single solitary item that takes a while to get to.
Yep.
So by the numbers, this was the right play, but wow.
I will say that bow is one of the few items, again, I've never actually seen at Spike Cave before. I've seen all sorts of things there, from the second glove to Fire Rod to Cane of Samaria to pretty much anything else I can figure. I've even seen Pegasus boots there before. That was fun. But yeah, bow is one I've never seen there. So no matter how many of these you play, there is always something new that gets thrown up, and that's what's so fun about it.
So, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is the end." Really? Because we haven't seen Ether, and we haven't seen that ice rock. I'm just saying, because what if they find Ether here in either pod or Eastern, but the ice rod is in Turtle Rock, and Ash decides to YOLO Turtle Rock. While Pika goes to try and clear Ice Palace and Misery Mire. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Not saying. I'm
Pika.
just saying. Yeah, Pika taking the fall, they're gonna have to reset the room.
This is why I just shoot an arrow at that guy now, because I got tired of him sometimes knocking me off, so I just shoot an arrow at the guy. It's like, right, pick up the pot, kill the first one, and because it's not a difficult, not a long thing to switch to either. Just shoot an arrow at him, and even when he's running towards you, the arrow just kills him. I have no idea why, but it does. So, face armor be done.
We don't ask why, we just kill.
Oh, just another sword in here as well. Ouch. Okay, so where do you go now? Do you check a Pendant dungeon, or?
If he's going Spike Cave.
Good.
He's going Spike Cave. All right, so EvilAsh is going to be back in this race. He's going to be facing a significant deficit. Don't misunderstand me there, but he is back in the running, depending on the location of Ice Rod and Ether. If you notice, Pikapals hasn't found either of those yet. Know that both of them are required to complete this seed.
No, I like this play because it's a balance of doing overworld and the dungeon stuff that is sometimes really hard to actually, master. But doing the mix of them here and not just focusing entirely on doing dungeon stuff now, but no, there's an overworld location I can check. I may as well go back and do it. That's the sort of thing which is really good here. If you see these guys take a ton of hits during the slash of disappointment, you see these guys taking a ton of hits during the Spike Cave itself, that's not because they don't have the stuff to do it properly, it's because you want to conserve as much magic as possible. You see, the amount of magic that they've used here is minuscule, so it's... okay, that's not quite the route I expected people actually take there, but sure.
He's like, I already went in both of these dungeons. darn it, I'm coming back to finish him up.
Yeah, no, that's what I was meaning. Is just the way he went about it, because he mirrored from the pyramid to flute to here to come this way, which isn't actually quicker, I don't think, because you're already in the dark world. It's not where he's going; it's how he got there. Is what I'm interested in, which is fun. But you know what? This will open up though. By the time they get these 2 dungeons finished, is the pyramid fairy gets opened up.
That's right.
So we could still see.
Yeah. Okay. So no, Ash didn't get to go into Maze of Darkness when he was in here before, so he's going to clear that out first. So I thought for a second there was going to be closer than it actually is coming out of Pod. But
yeah, there's going to be a little bit that some of that deficit is going to be made up a bit by Pika checking all the chests in Eastern, which EvilAsh has already done. So there'll be a little bit of catch up within that dungeon. But yeah, for now it's going to be a reasonable deficit here. Not insurmountable, especially not with execution as good as EvilAsh's can be. I've seen this guy race; he's really good.
But don't sleep on Pikapals' execution either.
Absolutely not. There's a reason why he's here.
That's right. Now, interesting, Pika not using the sword strats to take off Helmsir King's mask doesn't seem to matter at all, because that was blindingly fast even without that strat. Yeah,
it's more consistent to do the sword strat, but it's faster if you do it without, if you're good enough to actually get it to work. It's kind of like the 1 part 4/ versus 8/ thing against the ball and chain guard in this game. It's faster to do it.
That was a nifty way of shortcutting to the. I thought he was shortcutting through. No, okay.
He tried to, but forgot the block was there. Okay, so clearly
Ash is on tilt here, I think.
A little bit, yeah. He wanted to get rid of the red beetle. That was the problem, really.
Who doesn't?
So usually I would put the Kena Samaria block in to hit the switch from the middle, rather than, like you've kind of got to dive into the fray, if you will, but it's still, to me, a little bit better than going around with it. But hey, that's, everybody's got their own strat for it. I like the bonk, I just don't think it's quite the way around for that room, in my humble opinion.
Right,
when you've got Kena Samaria.
So here's what it's going to come down to, is these guys are both going to complete Eastern and Pod.
Yep.
The next dungeon that they go to is going to be interesting. Now, I think at this point you go to Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's got to be Ice Palace. Yeah. Unless you get Ether in Pyramid Fairy, it's got to be Ice Palace that you go to. There's no contest, because Misery Mire is pretty slow at the best of times, and not that much quicker than Ice, really. But Ice has got like twice the items in it.
Unless one of our runners decides to go to Fat Fairy and the other does not. And if Fat Fairy has Ether or the Ice Rod, this race is going to get real interesting again.
Yeah, well, she has to have Ether for it to be truly interesting, because the Ice Rod by itself can't open up Turtle Rock. So if she has Ether, then it becomes really interesting, because then it's in the Mimic Cave again, right? Another race where it's in the Mimic Cave, and that will be really interesting. But if it's the Ice Rod that's there, then you've still got that choice between Ice Palace and Misery Mire as the only dungeons you've got. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this plays out. But this is assuming that Pyramid Fairy even has anything.
Right.
Which I'm always rooting for, to be honest, because I always end up keeping a good eye on what Crystals 5 and 6 are. And if they're accessible, I'm like, well, this is probably going to be a good play at some point. So I'm always rooting for it to have something.
Sure. I would hold out more hope for Double-Chested Fairy if this were a newer version of the logic, but since it's V18, I mean, we're getting down to the point where, the odds are increasing of it having something. But
yeah. Suddenly doesn't look so bad when you've got like 2 other options to go for. Yeah, Armos could definitely have something still. I'm pretty sure Map and Compass have both been seen, so...
Yep.
And I mean, they are on an ice floor in the second round, so Ice Armos doesn't seem too unreasonable.
Nope.
Interesting to see Pika is not picking up any arrows here. It's only got 16, he's going to be down at 10 from here. While silvers are really good, you do need to keep in mind that quite a few of them if you have to do those ice armors. Oh no, the map has been picked up there. Okay,
All right,
never mind.
So does Pika at an hour 20, missing 2 items for go mode, does he take the green pendant ice palace, or does he take a chance? Let us see.
Yeah, so EvilAsh is roughly half a dungeon behind here because of how much you've got to run through this dungeon again, but he doesn't have to collect any items, so...
So Pika is going double-chested fairy.
This would have been something that would have been annoying me, actually, with Bow and Spike Cave. I would have been like, no, I wanted to check this about 30 minutes ago. Come on, let me just get this crystal. So I would have been, this would have probably been the first thing on my mind as well. As I wanted to check this half an hour ago. I finally have the chance to do so. Let's go and do it.
And since they have both killed Aghanim 1, they will be able to take the quicker route with the big bomb.
Absolutely. This is, of course, assuming that it's remembered that you can do that, but, you know, because, again, muscle memory can be kind of strong with that, but Pika is very familiar with this. Sort of surprised there was no switch to the hookshot beforehand because of the dashes he was doing with the chest before.
Yeah.
He's definitely very familiar with the hookshot dashing. I'm just surprised there was none of that here. But, you know.
But you have to menu multiple times if you're going to do it that way. I don't know if that necessarily saves time. All right, so big explosion here on the front of the pyramid. We will see. Will we have... We're waiting for 2 items that freeze enemies here. Ether and the ice rod. So which is it? We've got bombs and we've got...
Oh, no!
Big love. So...
Explosive love from...
Yeah.
Right, now what do? You've got to go Ice Palace, right?
Yeah, you got to. Unless you're worried about being behind and you're going to take the low percentage chance. But nope. Pika is heading into Ice Palace. You got to think it's the right answer, right? Because your only other option is either Misery Mire or going to Turtle Rock.
Just double checking which one's green. I think that was basically like the full basis of the decision here is which one is the green pendant.
Sure. Because then if Mire, however, even if Mire were the green pendant, then you have a tie in number of items, right? Misery Mire only has 2 items. If it's the green pendant, it has 3. Ice Palace has 3 items. With the green pendant, it has 4, though, making, in this case, Ice Palace probably the much higher percentage choice.
Pika, why didn't you pick up those arrows? I'm worried for the count later.
He's living on the edge, man.
Oh. Okay, small key, good. So this would be neat for the way that I do this stuff because I'd be able to use that small key, do a bomb jump over the where you get second chest, do the bomb jump there to get across that
Ash gonna do the glitch? Ash may be doing the glitch here.
The bomb exploded. I heard the explosion, so good effort, but not this time. Not gonna go for it the second time, understandably.
I wouldn't either.
Is gonna do the dashes here though.
Yep.
Slightly too far over, but that's okay. As the Ice Palace bomb jump gets set up here. Nicely done.
Yeah, one thing that I love playing with the new sprites and the new logic, but because it's ingrained in me to do Ice Palace bomb jump using Link's hat
Okay.
The new sprite. I had to figure out through trial and error that the frog sprite is shorter than Link. Zelda is taller than Link. The bunny is taller than Link. So
I guess that's why it's a super bunny then.
yeah. So when they're taller, you gotta adjust your bomb jump or your sprites a little bit.
Yeah, see, all of my bomb jumping I do through the shadows, so that can get slightly perturbed with Zelda, but not that much, just because it can be a little bit hard to see where the edges of a shadow is, because that's where the dress kind of goes. But, you know, I have never really had that much problem with bomb jumps in Zelda. I've not played as the frog, though, so I wouldn't be able to say there. But, I don't know. I'm waiting for Uncle or the Old Man to come out. Those are the next ones I want to... Alright, so the key there is not too bad, although this does leave one chest as a bit of annoyance in this dungeon. The one chest that you need to, well, you don't need to, but the one that you would go beyond the final area for in the dungeon, that's actively slower to do when you have the bomb jump done, because you have to fall down the stairs and then come back up, etc. That's why I usually, if I get a small key in the first two chests, that's why I will do the bomb jump in the ice schoolie room where you get the second chest, because you can use that key to go south, pick up that chest, and then go up with the hookshot room and get to where Pika has just left off.
So both of our runners are diving into Ice Palace here, and you absolutely cannot blame them. It's definitely the right call, numbers-wise. But we have yet to see those magical 2 items that we are waiting on.
Yeah, this is the chest that Pika had to do loops to go around for. This is the one I would pick up. Technically, it's the third chest if I had the small key in this position. Just, again, because bomb jumps. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with going around the other way, too. It's probably not much slower, if at all. So it just, you know... It's what you're used to doing. That's what you've got to stick with, Miranda. Sometimes it's good to practice new stuff, but until you actually have that ingrained and going, right, this is the way around for it.
EvilAsh didn't get the first Stealthos to fall down there.
Yeah, interesting. Have we seriously seen nothing in Ice Palace as well here? I've seen rupees and rupees. This is wild.
Don't tell me that Mire has it. Well, so it's looking like Mire's probably going to have ether. It has to have ether.
We haven't seen Sasha yet, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Sahasrahla.
Okay, good. He was moving around a bit too much there for my liking. I was like, oh, please get the job. Come on.
So will Pika get the quick kill on Cold Stare? No, he gets hit by the ice falling from the ceiling. Now with blue mail and 14 hearts, we're not worried about any of our runners dying here on Cold Stare, but... And...
Wow. This is unreal. Just so much nothing coming out here. And Pika's gotta be really worried now that, what if this isn't actually where EvilAsh went?
Right.
And if Sasha turns out to have nothing as well, it's just, oh no.
Pika checking the Lake Hylia Island. No, this is a piece of fart.
It's the right time to check it. There's no better place. So it's like, I must be missing something, right? I can't have gone through all of these dungeons and all of the overworld and still be missing 2 items.
No ether, no ice rod. The 2 freezy items, elusive to this point. Is Sahasrahla holding ether or the ice rod? He is holding neither.
Oh, wow.
Which means both ether and the ice... Well, no, ether must be in Misery Mire. The ice rod could still be in Turtle Rock.
That sword cheated. It just slashed it from up the top here. EvilAsh is setting up that bomb jump that I was saying before. I think he's a bit too far over at the moment. There we go. Maybe that'll be alright.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot more leeway there than it looks like, actually. The position I set up for it is just having myself in the corner, like, entirely, but EvilAsh was a decent bit further over to the right there, but it still works just as well. So, a lot of leeway with that jump.
Yeah, and that's why people don't need to type in all caps. Both our runners have been to desert and gotten both items out of it. So,
well, scene one got the other, but yeah. Moonpearl was the one they got, but they saw the +5 arrows on the torch at the time. Yeah, this is very unusual, to say the least.
Yeah, so it doesn't end up being a pedestal required seed, but for all intents and purposes, it will be, because they will have cleared pretty much every dungeon, with the exception of Desert Palace, but that's because there was nothing to get from it. So
the only minor thing I'd say EvilAsh had to get the big chest as well, so if it wasn't for that, the only thing I'd have said with the way he's done this is that he could have gone straight from that last small chest to down here and used Cane Samaria to get through, but he'd be missing out on the big chest, and that's not the way you want to play things, so...
Right.
Nice. There you go, that's how you do it.
Yep. It's about as good as you can do for Cold Stare.
So do you think, you've got to check the pendant first, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're EvilAsh, you must check the pendant. Nobody's going to go into Mire.
No, if you're this committed to the game plan at this point of this is why I did Ice before Mire, then you've got to check that first. There's no other way for it, right? Oh! Okay. Thinking, actually, I can just swim here. Fair enough. Yep. I think that's actually pretty much as the same in the end because of the way around you got to dash, except for these guys.
Right.
For some reason, Easton gets disproportionately more difficult when you've cleared Aghanim. And I have no idea why, because you would literally never come back here once you've in the vanilla game. It's this place and the race area that confuse me the most as to, like, World 2. It's like, why would you put blue guards in the race now? That's never going to get cleared now, come on! Alright, so, Pika is checking one of the slowest room sections in the game, I guess, that isn't tile rooms. This is where I pretty much always find the big key, is in one of the two torch puzzle chests, so... kill the bird first, there you go. That bird does not get affected by your earthquakes for obvious reasons, it's a flying type, takes 0 damage. And there it is!
There's Ether!
Okay!
Ether in the vanilla big key location.
But still no big key itself, so...
No.
And no second item yet means that, you've got to keep going.
I say look at this right now. EvilAsh is not terribly far behind Pikapals. No. What if left, right side, Ganon's Tower, that could still be enough at this point of the race.
Yep. Absolutely. I've got to say, that is not fun because Vitreous has an item now as well, so you've still got to clear the full thing here. The only dungeon that hasn't been full cleared is Desert, and that's because we already have the items there. It's times like this that you kind of wish for a pedestal seat rather than this, you know?
At least I would have cleared all of the dungeons for something.
Yeah.
I could do something with these darn pendants.
But no, this is like a fake pedestal seat where it's, well, I have to check all the things anyway, but I don't get anything for it. Oh, getting knocked into the Cane Samaria block a bit there. So, which way around is EvilAsh going to do this then? Is he going to check the two chest out here first, or is he going to just go the whole way through? No, he's going to go that round. So this is the route that I see most people take, but the only reason I don't take it, even though I acknowledge that it's probably faster, is because the big key is never over here for me. Like, honestly, in 80-90% of the seeds that I play, the big key is in one of the two torch chests. So I never take that path because EvilAsh does a slightly different thing. That's also interesting to me because from the vanilla big key chest, you actually end up coming out to the main area without too much issue anyway, so it's interesting that you would check one but not the other there. You think skipping the other items a pretty safe gamble here? I mean, maybe, but would you like to be the guy who lost the race because you missed out on Ice Rod and Vitreous?
Nah, not at all. Vitreous drops the fire shield.
Whoops. Yeah, Pika's only got 3 arrows left now. That's actually not enough to do everything in Ganon's tower, unless he takes the teleporter and doesn't do the bonk over there. There's Ether for EvilAsh, so even footing here. Yeah, you know, Ice Rod is going to be at Mimic Cave, because it always is, but,
course.
you know.
Wait, is this B21 logic?
No, because they've had more than one sword.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Not to mention half magic and silver arrows.
Yeah, it's not no Master Sword. T-Rock.
Version 21 can basically be summed up with, did you find silver arrows in my tower? That's pretty much all you need from that version. Yeah. Because that happened, I think, in more than 90% of the seeds I played in the end. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. I think pretty much every single seed that I played in that version was, did you find silver arrows in my tower? And that is not going to be good enough. I have to go back round, I'm afraid, Ash. There's no chance of getting a bomb jump there now. I think it would actually be possible to bomb jump that gap. Really crazy with it, but you would have to get there.
Insane.
Yeah, it's basically hammer jump levels, but I'm pretty sure you could actually do it. There's never any reason to, because whether you get in this dungeon with hookshot or whether...
Okay, interesting time save. Yeah, EvilAsh mirrored out. Remember, Vitreous only dropped a small key, so he counted better then.
No, Vitreous had the red shield.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Vitreous had the red shield. That's right. Never mind.
So he must be thinking he's behind here. And at an hour 36, when you're still technically not in go mode, I don't blame him on that.
We know it's the right decision, but man, that takes some guts. That is wow. That's a brave. Gutsy move by EvilAsh. We know it's gonna pay off, but wow.
This might be what keeps him in though. And being a game down as well, he's gotta be thinking, my tournament life is on the line here. Like, I need to win this. I need to take something here. There's that Kana Burner dash that I was talking about, by the way. That is exactly what I've been trying to do with that recently too.
Yeah, we have a pretty close race here now. It will come down to Execution and Turtle Rock and Ganon's Tower. Oh my gosh. If there is a left-right... You saw him take that gamble there in Misery Mire by not getting the second item. You think he's going to gamble right side in Ganon's Tower?
He might. It depends on how quickly he gets through here, I think.
Yeah. So,
we did see a bee in the bottle so far, so, you know, Beator coming in here, getting smacked by the chain jumps too. Okay. Unfortunately, in this circumstance, that big key placement there doesn't actually help because you still got to check all the chests anyway. It is very possible that Ice Rod is in that chest in the middle of where the big key normally is. So,
or the real, the the real troll obviously is Mimic Cave, but don't discount how much of a pain in the butt it is to have to do the entire laser room.
Luckily, Half Magic Cape does make a big difference here, so that will make it a bit easier. Oh, yeah, I thought that might happen with the way that was set up there. The skull eating, or the Stalfo's head thing, kind of eating up the sword spin, getting poked before the pokey gets up there. Oh, right there. Okay, well, there was an item in there, so yeah, you did have to check that, because if you get all the way to the end of the dungeon without checking that, and then that's where it ends up, how bad would that feel? So yeah, I'm pretty sure, Pikapals has literally 100% of this, hasn't he?
I think so. I really think so.
And that's really crazy to think about in a way that, an hour 40 in with random items in random places, so you can't do everything you want all the time, and you've literally full cleared the game. Including a whole ton of chests that 100% would not get as well. Yeah. That's crazy.
Chad just pointed out, though, the only thing he still will not have killed Landmullet. So.
Alright, so technically speaking, but in terms of item locations, it's not. The red meringue was the digging game item, and Pika just went, nope, I don't want that.
That's right.
Oh,
no, so it's
not
gonna
there.
Be in the laser room.
This is getting scary now, because you're starting to think, wait, what if I've missed something? What if it isn't actually here?
We know it's got to be in there, but that doesn't stop you when you're the runner from second guessing yourself. Oh my God, did I forget? Like, if you're using a tracker, did I mark off this one area on accident earlier? Did I forget something? Oh my gosh.
And I've been in this situation as well, in this version of the logic, specifically with the ice rod. I have had the ice rod be at the very end of the eye bridge before, and you really do get thinking, oh God, have I missed something stupid here? There's no way around it. That is just it. The nice thing, though, with all the small keys being picked up here, it isn't going to be an issue of there's a small key on the eye bridge. So if the ice rod is like first item, then golden.
But come on, the way the seed is going, it's got to be the absolute last one.
You would think so.
It's got to be.
So does that mean GT big keys on the tile room then?
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so again, an estimation from the chat that EvilAsh is 1 minute and 13 behind here.
See, Pika falling.
He's not using the cape here, which
There's
is interesting. There it is! I did say, if it's the first one with the keys that have been picked up, you don't have to do the rest of it. And there you go. Man, what a placement for that, though.
That's the first nice thing this seed has done for our runners today.
This is once again the sort of seed where the average player is going to take 220, 230 to do.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, as the chat's saying now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in go mode.
Pikapals has activated go mode.
Set randos to go. Yes, go with that. Alright, so slideshow time as we fight the boss here. It shouldn't be really difficult. You've got Gold Sword, the necks go down in 3 hits, it's really so the odd frame drop here and there is gonna happen from time, so it's all good. We know what's going on. Go mode is activated. Trinex is getting thing. Yeah, so EvilAsh getting the dash there, that's nice. Something I've been trying to learn a bit recently. I can do the first 2 of them, but trying to do 4 of those in a row, especially with the red beetle thing there, a bit too much for me at the moment, but I can get the first 2 usually, so I would have been alright in that case, but And I think EvilAsh doing the same sort of pot strat that I tend to do there as well. So it's nice seeing
Just a Trinex fight separates our 2 runners here.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower in which the big key could possibly be found. What number is it going to be? Will we see a comeback from EvilAsh here? Will it be on the right side? Will Pikapals go left side? Will EvilAsh gamble right side and come back from behind to keep his tournament hopes alive? Or is Pikapal going to move on to the semifinals with this Ganon's Tower performance? This is hype!
Definitely. Let's go with position 12. Let's go right down the middle, basically.
I'm hoping for right side in the beetle room, bottom left. There we go. The one that.
Hello.
Wait, Pika is making the right side gamble.
So this cost me 2 places yesterday because it didn't work out. But yeah, just one key there to get through. But go to the right side.
I want to change my prediction now. I want to gain 3.
Pika must also think he's behind here, which again does not surprise me given how far into the tournament we are here.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, you are in the quarterfinals of the tournament up against the #1 seed in the tournament. It is an hour 45. How can you not think you're behind at this point?
The other point...
I didn't see the item that was in the bottom left.
The other
it wasn't there.
The other thing maybe that I'd be thinking at this stage is maybe doing basically what Ben did to Willard in terms of going to the rock early in his run, is that perhaps he saw the metagaming here.
And
well,
Ash is going right side.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is the sort of play that you make when you think you're behind, unless you're just a crazy person, at which point you might anyway.
Right.
But yeah, it might be a case of, well, if Ash thinks he's behind, he's going to go right side. So I'm going to negate any potential advantage that might give by also going right side. We have seen a couple of times in the tournament. That's one of the more fascinating things that I didn't really think about here. Key point to note, though, that arrow count.
Yeah. Well, no, Pika just got 8.
There we go.
Now he's
Nice. I didn't even know there was one up there.
Yep.
And then there's arrows there anyway. Never mind. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I can't predict the randomness of drops, right? So, well, I say that, and I do half the time anyway, but details. How was I to know there was going to be 10 arrows right before the fight that you need arrows for? Oh, here's an interesting difference, though. EvilAsh is doing basically what I did against Wild here. Is it going to pan out? It is! Oh, wow!
It's going to pan out! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a race!
Oh, man. That's insane. So, yeah, when I try and do this, it doesn't work. But, of course, totally not. Totally. Eddie, I wouldn't have won that race anyway.
God, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go, though. This is what it's all about. This is like the inverse Dark Magician route, right?
Yeah. But the Stelphos room is trolling.
Oh, it's there!
It's there. There's the big key. They get trolled a little bit. What was Pikapals doing opening another chest? He's got red mail and butter sword and silver arrows. Why do you open another chest?
And now
all right, we are synced. Going
away.
up to the third floor of Ganon's Tower. We are synced.
If you ever wanted a race that went down to raw execution, this is going to be it now. This is literally as close as you can get to these guys now.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
The Goria's trolling Pikapals here just a little bit in the first room. EvilAsh knocks them out in the second Goria room. He's expanding his lead.
It's all going to come down to what tactics you employ here.
Yeah,
which
and RNG on Aghanim 2.
Yes, because this is not the version nowadays, because it's the introduction of the blue ball stuff again. Nowadays, the Aghanim patterns are fixed for everyone. You will always get the exact same teleport setup for every player. That is not the case in this version, so it could be that one person gets a 2 cycle, the other gets a 4. That is definitely possible with having completely different patterns for it too. Oh, Pika's having a little bit of trouble in the gauntlet room here.
Those Stalfos can control the best player, as you're seeing right here.
Yeah. Luckily...
Oh, wow. Evil with a perfect first ice room. Wow.
That's good, yeah. Oh, missed a shot on Stalfos, though.
This is the arrow.
That's
He's going to be able to pin him up against the wall. He's got it. He's going to run straight past this.
Not even going for the mini Stalfos the first time around. That's interesting. Nice pickup on it the second time, though. Fire Rod strats for EvilAsh here. This is something he is very familiar with, so definitely take that.
Silvers, and he gets
Nails it. Okay.
0 cycle silvers.
Not even taking the time to get any magic here as well. That's interesting.
They have a bottle of green goo.
So they did. Okay. Yes, because magic back gave them that. Right, so yeah, magic is not a problem. They've even got a red potion still, so health is not that much of an issue. Nice.
Perfect 4 Wizrobe room from Pikapals. Same from EvilAsh. We are mere seconds behind each other going into the last part of the gauntlet. Oh, I don't know if I can take this anymore.
I really wish EvilAsh picked up that full magic there, because I think he's going to have to take one from the next room here, and that'll slow him down a little bit compared to Pika having full magic here. Yep. So yeah, a little bit of resync up there.
Yep, so we
literally a second apart here.
We are synced. EvilAsh making it through. He does not need to get a key. Neither one of our runners need to get a key from these Helmosaurs. They're going to move straight through. Will Trolldorm troll somebody here? Trolldorm has that name for a reason.
Oh, Pika missed the bomb! Too far up!
Oh, Pika misses the bomb.
EvilAsh takes his health refill, which is perfectly good. Gets the magic as well. Probably a good idea.
But they're
not in the menu, though.
Oh my god!
Pika hasn't taken any heals here. So...
No.
That is interesting. I don't think it's going to matter too much, but...
Now, interesting here, Pika is going to have to menu over to the hook shot. EvilAsh is not going to have to.
There we go.
He takes
it anyway.
The validation
open it anyway. In a race that you must be thinking you're
behind.
Why? They both open it anyway. That is insane. You guys are madmen, and I love you.
That's got to be for the viewers. They had to have done that for the viewers. Chat. There's no other reason. All 2,500 of the viewers in the chat are saying, thank you for the validation chest.
Oh, this is a horrible pattern for EvilAsh here as well. What is this as a start? And Pika had a better pattern but didn't capitalize on it.
There's a triple from EvilAsh!
Oh my goodness. And only a double for Pika. That's it! 3 cycle. Beautiful!
For EvilAsh.
Oh, Pikapals missing the shot though, so a longer Aghanim fight here. That could be all it takes. 4 cycle though, still not terrible, but man.
All right, going into the Ganon fight, EvilAsh has approximately a 9-second lead. 10 seconds.
That can still be made up by the cycle set though, depending on how many silver arrows you hit and when you hit them. This could still very easily be made up.
Ladies and gentlemen, is EvilAsh going to win this by mere seconds and force a Game 3 in the semifinals of this tournament? Ganon is going to be no problem for either of our runners here. They have Butter Sword, they have Red Mail, they have Silver Arrows.
Pika's still got to watch his health a little bit though, depending on where the bats go, because that is still a free hit KO here, and you don't want to waste that time on the red potion at this stage. That's going to take a long time to refill your health.
Okay, I got a shout out to Loch Ness Gaming. Says, this is the best race I've ever seen, and I was the idiot that said Ash had no chance. Shout out to Loch Ness for acknowledging that fact. Don't ever give up on our runners at this stage of the tournament. These are the best of the best.
Oh, is he going to get the triple?
1, 2, 3!
Yes, it's good!
It's
B3! Let's go!
Oh my!
Wow!
GG's, EvilAsh has saved his tournament life here with an official Speedruns live time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, 33 seconds. And he is, what is this, gonna be 12 seconds ahead a little bit more of his rival to force a Game 3, which will be right here on Speed Gaming tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time.
Pikapals finishing with his official SRL time of 1 hour 53 and 57 seconds. Just 24 seconds apart.
Wow.
What can you say? That is unbelievably hype. Just wow.
The come from behind from EvilAsh. There were multiple times during this race when we thought it was over. When the odds said it was over, right?
Yep.
But Ash, with the guts, the absolute guts. Now, we got to ask him about that. Did he miscount in Misery Mire? Because if he chose deliberately to skip the second item from Vitreous, that's one thing. But if he forgot, because we've seen that before. We saw Christos trying to go into Desert Palace.
Yep.
Thinking that he had the book, but didn't. And Desert turned out to have... Oh, wow. My mind is completely blown at this point. Amazing finish to this run. You could not have asked for a better conclusion to a race.
This is fantastic, and this is two races in recent times with this and Christos Minor V as well, where a comeback hit basically has happened off of this, with Mike having the flute and pedestal that ended up making the comeback, and now this as well. Absolutely phenomenal here. These guys do not want their tournament lives to end for sure.
No,
and they're
not at all.
All the stops to get it. This is ridiculously good. Like you can't script better than this. That's
not at all.
Just crazy.
Wow. So we have Pikapals waiting in the waiting room right now. We're gonna see if we get a response from EvilAsh real fast. And hey, shout outs to Mikan, who was running the tracker for us this race.
Absolutely phenomenal job, man.
Thanks so much. It makes it so much easier for us to sit here and call the action when we know we got somebody on commentary or on a tracker who can keep it going for us. All right. Haven't heard from EvilAsh, but let's bring Pikapals in right now. Pikapals, my God, what a race.
Hey, thought it was fun.
That was amazing. I gotta think, you went right side Ganon's tower. You had to have thought you were behind at that point.
Yeah, I felt pretty behind as soon as I found the flute.
Yeah. You were actually ahead at that time. When you were ahead by the Trinex fight. So you exited Turtle Rock at the same time that EvilAsh was making his Kana Samaria block to cross into the Trinex fight.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It was phenomenal. We have EvilAsh in here. We're going to bring both of y'all in here. We bring him in real fast. EvilAsh25 with an amazing comeback there to keep yourself alive. Congratulations to you.
Hello, thank you.
Sorry, I've just seen the pedestal thing there. The useless shield sleeps again forever. Just just bringing that up because it's hilarious. But yeah, man, that race, so many things. Just
wow. EvilAsh, the first question I have to ask you: did you intentionally skip the Vitreous fight? Was that a gamble, or did you miscount the items in Misery Mire?
No, that was a gamble. I figured it wasn't worth the time, and there were so many chests in Turtle Rock that I'd take that chance. I've got to, this is a family-friendly broadcast, but solid steel is all I have to say about that. Wow.
Yeah, I'm at least glad that Ether was in the last place that anyone would ever look, because I'm the type of person who will never gamble on Turtle Rock having the ice rod.
Huh.
Yeah, that makes sense, really. It's always the worst thing when you go all the way up to Death Mountain and then you do all of Turtle Rock and you find it's a fast Turtle Rock because you get all keys and stuff in the first bit, and then Ice Rod is not there and you just go, why? Why are you doing this to me? I have to go back up there again now later. Waste so much time.
Go through all of it again. Yeah, it's just so much time.
Yeah, the way I saw it, I was just going to make a decision, no regrets. If it wasn't there, it wasn't there. If it was, it was.
Yeah.
And at that point in that seed, it's just like, go for it and don't worry about it.
But if you guys watched this race, you guys made almost all the same decisions at the same times. The routes were nearly identical. There were some slight differences, but so close the entire race. The lead shifted a couple of times. Ash, you got the flute significantly before Pika did, but Pika ended up because Pika didn't go into Pod or Eastern Palace. You did before you had the bow, so he made up a lot of time on you at that. So there were some shifts. Oh God, my brain is fried after watching that race. It was amazing.
Yeah, I had this brilliant idea to go grab the boots before doing Spiral Cave, and then immediately realized afterwards that, oh right, I lose the portal doing that.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Don't worry, I'd have made the same mistake.
Yeah, actually, I thought about that after I went into Spiral Cave. I'm like, oh man, I don't have the boots and they're right over there. I should have grabbed them, but then I was like, oh wait, I can't get back up here that way.
Yeah.
So I was glad I did.
So would it surprise you guys to know that both of you went right in Ganon's Tower first?
A little?
So that was unusual. But Ash, can you talk about your right side routing, because you mirrored out at some point? Can you talk us in the chat through that?
Yeah, well, when you check their two right chests, right? Everybody does that to start with, and if there's a key in there, I kind of like going right sometimes. I don't know. I probably favor checking those 4 chests, just because it's right there and it's just 4 chests. And then after that, yeah, I like mirroring out, because if you take the long way all the way around to Armos, it's a long way to check more chests. So I like to grab the key and get out of there, and then go down the other side after that.
Yeah, I think that's actually what I did in my match against Wild Anaconda. It didn't quite pay out because Bob was hiding the big key, but it makes sense the way that it works. The logic is definitely sound off it, going, well, checking the most amount of chests in the shortest amount of time. And that pretty much made up the entire time there, because whilst both of you did do the right side gamble, Pika committed to everything and went into the Armos fight as well. And you, of course, did not. And by the time that Pika was done with the Armos and everything, you had just mirrored back. And so you're about a second apart going up the start of the climb. It was that tight the whole way through for the final section. Just crazy stuff.
Wow, that's pretty great.
Yeah, you put the chat and us on just full hype mode. You guys, that was one of, if not the most entertaining finishes to a race that we've experienced in this tournament. And as some of the chat's pointing out right now, you guys kind of synced the validation chest. Both of you opened it and got the 5 rupees out of Moldorm 2 at almost the same time.
That's pretty great.
Glad it worked out.
So, gentlemen, with that, you guys are going on to have Game 3 tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Did I get that time correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Gentlemen, I wish both of you the absolute best of luck. If you guys can get a race nearly as hype as this one for Game 3, it will be amazing.
I'm alright with the hype race. I'll just hope for a better seed next time.
Yeah, this scene was pretty horrible by the end of it. I mean, there's probably a good reason why we haven't talked much about that. It is because, yeah, a lot of this was really awful. I mean, you had to do Aga to get the Titan's Mitt, and then you had to pretty much do every dungeon despite a terrible item being in the pedestal. And yeah, just not a whole lot of good to be said about the scene. But it did make for a very entertaining race, and so. Yeah, that's what we do on stream as well. No matter how it ends up going, just a race that enjoy, at least in some aspect, is how we want it to go. So, yeah, is there any changes to stuff you would make for Game 3, or is it obviously it depends on what items you get? But is there any places that or any execution stuff you might change this time around?
For me personally, not really. I'm just gonna play my game and stick to it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same here. Maybe, there's always a question of doing some things in different orders, but for the most part, I mean, everything seemed like a good order. It just doesn't work in this kind of seed.
That's Randomizer for you. I mean, I had the similar sort of thing with Ice Palace having the hammer. That kind of kills most of your routing-based stuff because it's the last place you'd want to check for it, and so it's unfortunate when you get that because then it mostly comes down to just execution stuff. But even then, that's can make for interesting stuff too. But. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a daft question to say, would you change anything for Game 3? But we have seen some, if you like, metagaming going on within this of, people saying, wow, my opponent is going to check right side first in GT, so I'm going to do the same just to remove any advantage they get from it and so on. So it's always interesting seeing if there's any potential changes for stuff like that. But I'd imagine at this point you want to just stick to what you're most familiar with and go from there and just hope for a better seed basically.
So gentlemen, we will go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just about to ask if there was anything else that I wanted to add before I sign off here. So anything else you want to say with this one, or
just hoping for a hype Game 3, I guess.
Yep, same here. I'm glad we got the Game 3 at least.
I mean, I'm less happy about the Game 3, but it'll be fun.
Obviously. But amazing games. So gentlemen, we will go ahead and sign off here. Briefly, let you guys get a little bit of a rest before the deciding Game 3 at 8 o'clock tonight here on Speed Gaming. So, for all of you watching, if you have not followed EvilAsh and Pikapals yet, my question is, what is wrong with you? So follow EvilAsh and Pikapals here on Twitch. Follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2. Game 3 is coming up tonight right here on Speed Gaming at 8 o'clock p.m. But in about 45 minutes, we will have Ocarina of Time speedrunning tournament from 3 to 6. And then at 6 o'clock, we will have Pokemon Red tournament continues here on Speed Gaming. So the match that we have tonight at 8 o'clock, Game 3, is the last match that we have scheduled in this round. Keep up to date with the schedule for updates on when the semifinals will be taking place this next weekend. So, again, to EvilAsh and Pikapals, congratulations to both of you for a fantastic Game 3. Absolutely awesome to watch and commentate on. It has been an honor. But before we sign off, I've been Phantom Ryu. Gamer Cal.
Hi. Yep. Take care, guys. Hopefully we have just as good a race later on. And until then, take care of yourselves.
All right, and I will sign off for what may be my final time in this tournament. Unfortunately, I have to move, but it has been an absolute blast. I am hoping I will be home and ready to set up by the time the finals roll around, but I can't guarantee it. To everyone out here in the chat, this has been a wonderful experience. Let me shout out to Feasel, Mythical 9, all of the admins in this tournament who gave a relative unknown the chance to commentate on what has been one of the most popular and hypest tournaments we've seen here on Speed Gaming. It has been an absolute privilege and an honor. And so if this is the last time I get to commentate one of these races, let me sign off with what I'm sure most of you associate with me. That's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane! Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.
You did good, man.